Hi friends, welcome to Webcam. In this video, I am going to discuss data transformation in Power Query. Okay, so in Power BI, Power Query is a tool that allows us to extract the data. Fetch the data from various sources, or it allows us to connect with multiple sources. And once we get connected to that sources, once we get the data from various sources, we are supposed to transform the data. We are supposed to make some transformation. We are supposed to clean the data. We are supposed to reshape the data. Okay, so with respect to performing the operation transformation operations, Power Query supports various operations. So I will list what are the different operations supported by Power Query. So first, Power Query allow you to select the columns by using either choose columns or remove columns operation. Okay, so what you can do, you can either select the columns which are needs to be kept, or you can select the columns which are supposed to be removed. Okay, it depends. I will show you how this operation works. Okay, on next, it also allows you to split column, or vice versa. It also allow you to merge the columns. Okay, so basically what it does is, if you have a data in single column, and if you want to split that column, okay, into multiple columns, that is also possible. And suppose if you have a data in multiple columns and you would like to join all the columns as a single table, that is what nothing but merge columns, that is also possible. Okay, then it allows to sorting of data. Okay, sorting of data in ascending and descending order. Right. After that, it allows you to replace the value or errors of data, values or errors of data. I will say values or errors of data. Right. Next operation, it allows to merge the merge queries, or append queries. Append queries. So merge queries and append queries, meaning in merge queries, what we do, we join the tables, rows of tables, okay, based on the common field between multiple tables, or multiple table, instead of that, I will say two tables. Okay. And in append queries, what we are going to do is, we can join the columns of two or more tables. Okay. And there is something called combine files also. So if you have a tables in multiple files, if you have a data in multiple files, what you can do, you can combine those files. So these are the operations supported in Power Query. Not this much. It allow you to change the data type of any column. Okay, you can change the data type. Okay, not limited to this, we have many other operations from transform tab. Okay, if I click on this, so here you can see that we have other options, such as, okay, you can transpose the data, or you can pivot the data, or you can unpivot the data. So all these three, transpose, pivot and unpivot, are the different operations. But in these, okay, what we are going to do is, we are just going to convert, let me say, convert data into row or column. So what you can do, you can convert your row level data into column level data, or vice versa, column level data can be converted into the row level data. Okay, so on next line, what we can say, that it allows us to move the columns. Okay, that is what we can say, that reorder the columns. Okay, so these are the features, these are the operations we can perform. It allows us to extract the information. Okay, extract the information from data, right? And also it allows to perform numeric operations on columns, then date and time related operations on date date time column. So these are the things that basically we are supposed to do before loading the data into model. Okay, apart from this, okay, what it allows to create a custom columns, or it allows to create new columns based on the operation performed. Okay, so we can perform the number operation, you can perform the date and time operation, but every time it will add new column automatically. Okay, if you are trying to merge the data, merge the columns values, it will create. So definitely I can say that it allows to add columns. Okay, add columns, then it allows to create and invoke custom functions. Right? So this is how it works, and like this, many other operations are there in Power Query. Right? So I'm going to discuss all these operations. Out of these, I already discussed a few operations in my previous video, so you can go to my channel and watch that videos like this. Okay, so I discussed not merge. Okay, but what I can say that okay, my bad. So I have discussed merge queries, append queries combined, right? Transpose, pivot, unpivot. So these operations I already discussed in my one of my previous videos, and rest of the operations I am going to discuss in this video. So before doing this any operation, obviously we need a data, and data we can get it from any of the sources. Okay, so if I go here, I'm just going to connect to any of the data set. We need a data. Okay, let me go to this and let me select this insurance data. Okay, any data would be fine for me for these operations. So suppose I have this table called a policy. I'm just going to load this data. Okay. So like this, whenever you get connected to the any of the data source, and data preview is there. Okay, in Power Query Editor, data preview is there. Whatever the data you can, whatever the operation you can perform, that operations output you can preview here before loading the data. That's why we say this as a preview window. So now, what is my first operation? Suppose I would like to remove the columns. I don't want this expiry column. So what I can do, I can go to choose column. Okay. And I will select this choose column option. And here you have an option to select. If you don't want this expiry column, you can simply untick this and say, okay, it will remove that column. Okay. This is the one of the way to remove the column. Another way to remove the column is there is one more option, that remove columns. So you can select expiry column and simply go and say remove columns. Okay. And the moment you say this, if you have selected multiple columns on that, so all those columns will be removed. Okay, I will first do this for only expiry columns, since I was selected only expiry. Okay, so my column gets removed, right? So how to remove multiple columns? What you can do, you can simply click on expiry and then press control button of your keyboard and then click on the column name, multiple columns. Then you will get selected, or you are able to select multiple columns, right? So here I don't want these two columns, so I will select this and perform the remove column operation. So this is the way, okay, this is the way to remove the columns. Suppose you have suppose 100 and 200 or 100 columns. In that case, you wanted to keep only 2 or 3 columns. Okay, you want these 3 columns only, and I don't want all other rest columns. So instead of selecting all the other columns, so what you can do, you can select only columns which needs to be kept, and you can go to the remove columns, and there is a one option called remove other columns. The columns which are not selected will be removed, and I will simply click on remove other columns. So the columns which are not selected will be removed. Selected columns will be kept as it is. Okay, this is how it works. This is how it works. Okay, so this is all about remove columns, how to remove columns, how to keep the columns. And there is a one more option in choose column, that is what go to column. So if you select on this and it allows to select the column name and say okay, you will be jumped to that specific column. Okay, this is what available in Power Query only. Very similar to the column operation, we have operations, or we have options to reduce the number of rows. Okay, so there is an option called keep rows. Okay, so what I will do, I will click on the keep rows. So here you can see that you have a multiple options. Keep top rows. Suppose if you want to keep the data for first 100 rows, so you can click on this and you will enter the number for the number of rows. Okay, for the number of rows. So those many number of rows will be kept. All other rows will be removed. All other rows will be removed. In my earlier step, we can see that we have a 500 distinct values. But in my next step, where I have removed all other rows and I kept only 100. So here you can say the 100 values are removed. Okay, or 100 rows. In the bottom line, what you can do, you can view here. Okay, here you can view, or you can see how many rows are available in your data set. In my earlier state, it was 500, but in my current step, it is 100 because I performed that operation. Next, suppose if you want to keep only 50 rows from bottom, so you can select this and you can enter the number, how many rows. So what it will do, it will keep the data from bottom. It will keep the data from number of rows from bottom. Instead of data, I will say number of rows. And here now you can see that now we have only 50 rows. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how it works. Okay, now next operation is, suppose if you want to keep the range of rows. Next operation is, suppose if you want to keep the range of rows. How this going to work, I will show you. Okay, before this, what I will do, I will just create one column so to show you. Okay, and I have created one index column that it is like row number. I have added one column that specifies the row number. Okay, and now if I go to the this operation, okay, so that I can show you why I have added, because I can show you. Keep the range of rows. Now what I will do, I will enter the arguments here. I will enter the values here. So it asks you first row, which is the row number you would like to keep. So I will say 10 is my first row. Okay. And from 10th row, how many rows you would like to keep? I will say 5 rows. Okay. And so here you can see that this is what my 10th row, right? And from this row, I want a 5 rows. From this rows, I want a 5 rows. So accordingly, I have entered values here. And I will say, yes. So you can see that now only 5 rows are remaining. Only 5 rows are remaining in my data set. And from what number? So it is showing us from 10, it is showing me, okay, only row number. So that's why I have added index columns. Okay. So this was the purpose. Now we have other options to keep rows, right? So I will go to that option. Again, I will go to the keep rows. So here you have an option called keep duplicate. Keep duplicate. What it will do whenever you select any of the column. Okay, and whenever you select any of the column. So here you can see that you have 500 rows, and out of 500 you have only unique value. Obviously, policy number will be unique for each of the policies, so there will not be any duplicate. So if I try to perform the operation on this, okay, if I try to perform the operation on this column, what operation I'm going to perform? Keep duplicate. So it will remove everything because there is no duplicate policy number. That column will not have anything duplicate, so it will remove everything. Instead, if I go to the state, okay, if I go to the state and if I say keep duplicate, okay, all my states which are repeating, that will be kept. So it will not remove anything because all states are getting repeated. Okay, all states are getting repeated. Okay, so here you can see that we have 228 distinct values and 85 unique values. So if I try to perform this keep duplicate values, what it will do? Unique values, 85 rows will be removed. Okay, unique value rows will be removed. I will say keep duplicate. So you can see that now my data set is reduced to 415 rows, and my 85 rows are removed as I said. Okay, so here you can see that you have multiple options, so distinct and unique. Okay, that is what different. I will discuss that in column profiling. Okay, what is difference between unique and distinct? Okay, yes, there is a difference. Okay, so now next operation is keep errors. Suppose there is a errors in your column and you would like to view that rows. Okay, what you can do? You can go here and you can simply say keep errors. Since I don't have any error in my data set in the expiry column, that's why it is not keeping anything. But if you see anything as an error instead of value, you can select that option so that you can view how many errors are there in your data set. Okay, since I don't have any errors, it will not, I mean, I won't be able to show you. Okay, similarly, as you can keep the rows, there is a one more option to remove the rows. Okay, remove the rows. Okay, what I will do, I will first add index column. Okay, my index is okay starting from 1. So what I will do, I will remove this, and I want index that is what starting from 1. So I have an index column. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to perform the remove rows operations. Okay, so it allow you to remove top rows. I will say remove top 100 rows. Okay, what it will do, you can see that your number will start from 101, right? So your 1 to 100 rows will be removed. Similarly, you have option to remove rows from bottom. So I will say 100. So now how many rows are there? So 300 rows are remaining from 101 to 400. Okay, 200 rows are removed, right? So this is how it performs the operation. There is an option called remove alternate rows. Okay, there is an option called remove alternate rows. So now again I will show you from first index. Okay, so that it will be easy to understand. If I click remove alternate rows, it will ask you for the 3 values. It will ask you for the 3 values. First value is first row to remove, which is the row number from which you would like to remove the data, remove the rows. So what I will do, instead of okay, I will start removing the rows from first row. Okay, then what it is going to ask you, how many rows you would like to remove in sequence. Okay, suppose if I say one, what it will do? It will remove one row, it will keep one row, it will remove one row, it will keep one row. But if I define, I would like to remove the number of rows. Okay, from row number one, it will remove first and second. So what it will do? It will remove this first and, okay, my bad. It will remove first and second. Okay. What it will do? It will keep the third row, since I have defined keep only one row. On next line, what it will do? It will remove fourth, five. Okay. Because I have defined number of rows to remove as a two. So it will remove two. On next line, I have to keep only one row. So it will keep sixth row. Okay. So this is how it's going to work. Again, it is going to remove next two rows. Again, it is going to keep one row. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how the remove alternate row operation works. Okay, so I will perform the operation by clicking on, okay, my bad, I am supposed to use this op. Okay, and here you can see that my removes are getting removed. Okay, so sorry, my rows are getting removed. So first row and second row is removed. Third will be kept. Then fourth and fifth will be removed. Okay, so this is how it defines. So you can change the number as per your requirement. Then you have one more option to remove the duplicates. Okay, if I go here, okay, how many rows are there? 166 rows are there. Okay, here if you look here, so we have 166 rows at this step. If I try to remove the duplicates, okay, remove the duplicates from policy number. Since there is no duplicate, it is difficult to remove the duplicate. Okay, but here what you can do is in case of state, definitely we have duplicate values. But definitely we have duplicate values, right? Ny is getting repeated. I don't want that. So what I will do, I will select remove duplicate option. So what it will do, it will keep the first values rows and other value row will be removed. I mean, if Washington WI is repeated in another any 10th row, that will be removed. It will keep only first row, okay, of that specific value. So this is how it will remove the duplicate value from any column. Then remove blank rows. Okay. Suppose there is a row or column in which you have blank values. You have blank values. So you can say remove blank rows. Okay. If there is a errors, you can simply say remove error. So this is how you have options to perform the remove column, remove rows operations. Suppose if you would like to sort the data on the basis of a region, so there is an option called sorting A to Z. If you want to sort, what it will do, it will sort the data in A to Z order, A, B, C, D, E, F, Z. Okay, so in this order, it will sort. If you want sorting in descending order, you can select the bottom options, that Z to A. Okay, and it will sort the data in descending order. It will sort the data in descending order. Since this is a text column, it is sorting the data based on A to Z or Z to A. But in case of number column, what it will do, it will sort the data. Same option, A to Z, Z to E, ascending, descending, it will sort the data based on lowest value and highest value. Okay. Then suppose you would like to split the column. Okay. What I want to do, I have this expiry date column and I would like to split this column. Split this column means I want date, month and year to be separated. Okay, so what you can do, you can, in this case, you can use these many options. You can use these many options. Okay, so by default, this is the very useful by delimiter option. First option is very useful. Okay, and in Excel this is by default option. By delimiter is default option. Okay, so I will select that option. It will ask you to select the delimiter. So most of the times it will pick the delimiter automatically. Okay, since I don't have selected, but yes, it rectifies that there are two numbers. So in between that numbers there is something like hyphen, and that is used. And I will say okay, okay. I will say okay. What it will do, it will create expiry 1 2 3 column, expiry 1 2 3 column. So this is your day data, right? This is your day from date, this is your month from date, this is your year from date, right? So this is about the splitting of data. Similarly, you have multiple options on the basis of different things. You can split the column. So suppose if you want to perform or if you want to split the column based on number of characters, you can use that option also. So you are supposed to specify 2 characters, 3 characters, 4 characters. So accordingly, it will split the your column. By position also, you can specify. Okay, by lower case to uppercase if there is a data in such a way that your starting characters are okay. If your starting characters are like this, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. So in this case, this option is going to help you to split the column. Suppose if you want to separate the lowercase character and uppercase character, so this first option is going to help you by lowercase to uppercase. Exactly vice versa. Suppose if you have data in such a way that at the starting there is something called XYZ, and in last, okay, you have a data in small case. And if you want to split this column by what case sensitive data, meaning lowercase and uppercase, so you can use upper to lower. Similarly, you may need to separate the data based on digit to non-digit or non-digit to digit. So anything between 0 to 9 is considered as a digit. Okay, and anything other than this will be considered as a non-digit. So A to Z, just as example, is considered as a non-digit. So if in case if you have a data like AZ, okay, AZ 00 001. So in this case, okay, suppose if you want to perform the split operation, okay, by the non-digit to digit, so it will separate these 2 characters as a non-digit, and it will separate this 001 as a digit. Okay, so this is how this splitting column operation works. Okay, then exactly vice versa, we may have a option to merge the column values. Yes, we can perform the merge operations, right? So that you can do here, you can, what you can do, you can select this all those 3 4 columns, okay, you would like to merge, and you have to simply say merge column. So it will ask you the separator. Okay, what I will do, I will say custom, and here I will enter separator. So I'm going to merge the data. I'm going to create the column that retain, okay, retain its date value. Okay, and I will say expiry date, expiry expire date. Okay, and just to combine. So now you can see that your data got combined, but date format is changed. Okay, that is automatically, but you can change that date format also. So how to change the date format? Data type, here you have an option to change the data. So I will say date. Okay, so now you got a errors. Okay, sometime it unable to convert your data from text to date. So in that case, suppose you would like to remove the errors, right? So we have seen the option called remove errors, keep errors. So I will simply show you the remove errors, and I will say remove errors. So what it will do, whenever there is a error, it will remove that row. Okay, so this was pending to show you. Then, okay, I don't want this, so I am going to remove these steps. Now, suppose if you would like to replace the value, you can replace that value, and what you can do instead of, let me see the other values. Okay, it is fine. So I would like to replace the value. So I can go here and I can simply say what value to replace. So you are supposed to say rural. And what is the value? So I'm just going to replace with RL. Okay. And if I say click, all my rural values will get replaced with RL. Okay. This is how you can change, replace the value, any value, number value, text value, date value, anything can be changed by using replace value. Okay. On other hand, we have, suppose you would like to rename this column, so you can rename the column also. You can rename the column. If you would like to get the count of these columns, you can get the count of these columns. Okay. So this rows. Okay. Not count rows, not columns. So since we have selected columns, it will show you the count rows. Okay, count, it will count the number of rows in specific table. Okay, so if you want to reverse these, okay, since we have index column, if I say ascending, so our index is starting from 3 6 9. Okay, and if I would like to reverse this, so what it will do, it will bring my last row to the top of table. So this is the operation, these are the operations you can perform. If you want to change the data type of any column, you can go and simply say click here, you can change. Okay, anything is possible, a data type can be changed at any type. Okay, then replace value, we have seen you have an option to replace the errors. If there is a errors in columns, so what you can do, you can replace that error with any specific value. That is also possible. Suppose I would like to have this index column, so next operation I'm going to perform is move. Okay, I will say to beginning. So since this was at the end, okay, this column was added at the end, and now I have switched this column as a first column of this table. So this is possible by using this option move. Okay, so there is something called format. Format allows us to uh, format the text data, convert the data into lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word. If you want to trim, suppose there is a space around your text before text start and after text start, so you can use trim option. So it will really clean. Suppose you have non-printable characters in your text, so you can use the clean. If you would like to add something as a prefix, okay, you can add like if I click here and if I enter $sign, so it will add $sign for each of the value of column. So this is how prefix and suffix is going to work. Okay, suffix will add at the end, prefix will add at the or before the value. Okay, after that we have an option called extract. Okay, extract is going to give you the information about the column values. So it will check for the length, how many number of characters are there in a string. It will return, it can return the number first n number of characters. So if I say first n, okay, and here if I say 3, so what it will do, it will keep only 3 characters of from that string. Okay, similarly it will keep the 3 or n number of characters from last side, that is what right. If you want to keep the middle characters, so you can use range. I will say from second it should start and it should keep how many number of characters, so it should keep 3. Okay, so I will say, so it will start from second character and okay, so I mean second index, and it will keep 3 characters. So this is how it's going to work. This is how you can inform. So if you want to extract the text before any delimiter, after any delimiter, you can understand, right? Suppose if I go to this date column, where is my date column? I think I don't have date column, right? So split column by delimiter. I will remove this step. Okay, since I would like to show you something. Okay, fine. Suppose I would like to extract the information. Since this is my text column, no, this is not my text column. So I will say this is as a text. Okay. And now if I go to the extract and if I would like to get the text before delimiter. So first occurrence of delimiter, it will give you. I will say this is my delimiter and okay. So before hyphen, whatever text was there, it will keep. Okay, this is the one of the way to extract the data. Okay, extract the information from any specific column. If you want to keep the text after delimiter, same thing you can do. If you want to keep the text between two delimiters, so you can say if you want to get the text between two delimiters. So I would like to get this month information. Okay. Since hyphen is my first delimiter and hyphen is my second delimiter, that is what surrounded by month. Okay. Or month is surrounded by these two delimiters. So I will say this. So it will keep the month value as it is. Okay. So this is how it works. This is how it works. There is something called parse. If you have a data in text format and the in any of the cell, and okay, if you have to parse meaning the data or that string is representing or it's object of XML and JSON type data. Okay, so you can use this option to convert that data into table. Similarly, you have options to perform the statistic operations on number column. Suppose if you select this number column, you would like to add something to this. If you want to get the minimum value, if you want to get the maximum value, you can do that. If you want to get the medium, if you want to find out the median, okay, it is going to give you the information. Okay, if I go to this index, okay, if I go to this index, all right, from transform. So you can get that standard deviation, you can get the count of value, count of distinct value. So these are the information you can get very easily. If you want to add something to these column values, you can add. If you want to multiply these column values by any of the number, you can use multiply. If you want to subtract something, you can subtract something is there. Okay, if you want to divide these values by any number, you can divide. Integer divide is there if there is a okay, if any number that is not going to divide completely, okay, if it is going to return the decimal values, so in by using integer divide, that is what avoided. Okay, you will get only integer number as an output, decimals will be ignored. If you want to find the remainder, you can use the modulo. Okay, if you want to calculate the percentage, this value of percentage, okay, or whatever the value is there, suppose 100 is there, and if you want to get the 10% of 100, you can simply say use this percentage option. If you want to find out how much percent the current value is of what value, so you can use percent of, suppose there is a value called 10. Okay, suppose there is a value called 10 and someone asks you to find out the value 10 is of how much percent, or is suppose someone says if 10 is 10% of 10% of the value, then you have to find the value. So it will become or you have to find that value, so it will become 100. So this is what used in, or this is what calculated by using percent of option. So it will give you the actual number. Then if you want to perform if you want to get the absolute value means the numbers which are negative, that will be converted as a positive number. If you want to get the power, cube, square, or fourth power, eighth power, any number of power you can calculate. If you want to calculate the square root, you can calculate the square root. Exponent value, if you want to get the exponent, logarithmic value, if you want, you can get. If you want to find factorials, you can calculate directly these options. Okay, if you click on the factorials, it will return you factorials of that specific number. Okay. Then many other options are there. Round up, round down, round. These are the options to remove the decimals. Okay. Then if you want to get, or if you want to check whether the number is even or not, whether the number is even or not, or is odd or not. And then if you want to get the sign, okay, if number is negative, it will return -1. If number is positive, it will return 1. Sign option. So this is how it works. Suppose you have, or if you select the date option, so it will allow you to perform the or get the various data. That, let me say date time. Okay. Okay. So it allow you to extract the various types of information like year, start of year, end of year, then month, start month, end month, days in a month, name of month. If I click, it will return you the name of month. So like this, you can extract the information by simply clicking on. Okay, so it has provided Power Query provides you these much features. Okay, you can get the month details, then quarter details, you can get week details, day details, okay, day of week and all, everything is you can find out very easily. Similarly, with respect to time also, you can perform get the hours, minutes, seconds as per the convenience. So these are the operations in a Power Query editor that can be used directly to transform the data, right? I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel.